Look at yourself, right now. You're sitting there, drowning in the wreckage of your own promises. The goals you swore you'd chase, the habits you said you'd build, they're rotting in the corner of your mind, aren't they? You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, that you'll summon some grand burst of willpower to fix it all. But tomorrow comes, and you're still the same, trapped in the quicksand of your own excuses, sinking deeper every day. You're not weak because you lack strength. You're weak because you've been lied to. You've bought the fairy tale that discipline is some towering fortress you storm with grit and glory. It's not. It's a war fought in the shadows, in the smallest cracks of your day. And I'm here to drag you into that fight. This isn't about grand gestures. This isn't about waking at dawn to run 10 miles or choking down kale while you chant affirmations in the mirror. That's the lie they sell you, the Hollywood montage of transformation. Real discipline, it's uglier, it's quieter, it's in the dirt, in the moments no one sees. It's micro-discipline, the art of tiny, ruthless commitments that claw you out of the abyss 1 inch at a time. And here's the dark truth. Those inches, they're rewriting your brain. They're forging chains of steel inside you, binding you to a version of yourself you've only dreamed of. But you've got to start small, or you'll never start at all. Picture this. Your brain is a battlefield. Every time you cave, every time you scroll instead of work, hit snooze instead of rise, choose comfort over courage, you're carving trenches for weakness. Neuroplasticity, they call it. Your mind bends to what you feed it. Feed it laziness, and it builds a cage. Feed it distraction, and it locks the door. But here's the flip side they don't tell you. It works both ways. Every tiny act of defiance against your impulses, every micro-choice to say no, to stand up, to begin, lays a brick in a new foundation. Your brain doesn't care about the size of the win. It just registers the pattern. And patterns, they become you. Let's get real. You're not going to overhaul your life in a day. You've tried that. You've screamed into the void, made your big plans, and then crashed harder than ever when the fire faded. That's because you're fighting the wrong war. The real war isn't against your to-do list or your temptations. It's against the version of you that's already given up. And that war isn't won with a sledgehammer. It's won with a scalpel. Precise, deliberate, small. Start here. Say no to one thing today. One tiny, stupid thing. That extra cookie. That 5-minute scroll through social media when you should be working. Don't just resist it. Feel the weight of it. Feel the itch in your hands, the pull in your chest. That's your old self clawing at you, begging to stay alive. And when you say no, you're not just skipping a snack or a distraction. You're burying that weak bastard a little deeper. That's micro-discipline. It's not sexy. It's not loud. But it's a dagger in the heart of your failures. Or try this. Set a timer for 2 minutes. 2 measly minutes. Pick something you've been avoiding. Writing that email, lacing up those shoes, opening that book, and start. Just start. You don't have to finish. You don't have to conquer the world. You just have to move. Because here's the secret. Your brain doesn't know the difference between 2 minutes and 2 hours. It logs the act. It wires itself a little tighter. It whispers, "This is who we are now." And tomorrow, those 2 minutes become 5, then 10, then a habit you can't shake. That's the dark magic of it. Small cuts that bleed into something unstoppable. You want proof? Look at the people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all together. You think they were born that way? Number. They're just better at the shadows. They've mastered the art of showing up when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one's watching. They don't wait for motivation. They build it. brick by brick, with choices so small, you'd laugh at them. A glass of water instead of soda. A single push-up when they're tired. A note jotted down instead of a dream forgotten. That's their edge. That's your edge, if you're brave enough to take it. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't easy. Micro-discipline isn't a feel-good fix. It's a slow burn. It's facing the ugliness of your own habits, staring into the mirror of your procrastination, and choosing to fight anyway. There's no applause for it. No one's going to pat you on the back for skipping a Netflix episode to plan your week. The reward isn't instant. It's forged in the quiet, in the grind, in the moments you'd rather quit, but don't. And that's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it yours. The action plan, your blueprint to rise. So how do you make this real? How do you take this shadowy art and carve it into your life? You don't just nod and walk away. You build a plan. A ruthless, practical map to drag yourself out of the pit. Here's how you wield micro-discipline, step by step, until it's not just a speech but your reality. Step 1. Pick your poison. Start by naming one enemy. One small, insidious habit that's been choking you. Maybe it's the mindless scrolling that steals your evenings. Maybe it's hitting snooze until your mornings are a graveyard of lost time. Maybe it's that extra drink that fogs your clarity. Pick one. Not 5, not 10. 1. Write it down. Stare at it. Let it sink in how much it's cost you. That's your first target. Step 2. Set the trap. Design a micro-commitment to strike back. Make it so small, it's almost embarrassing. If you're a slave to your phone, commit to putting it face down for 5 minutes when you wake up. If you're a snooze addict, vow to sit up the second the alarm screams. No exceptions. If it's the drink, swap it for water one night this week. The smaller it is, the less your excuses can fight it. Write this commitment down too. Pin it where you'll see it. Your mirror, your desk, your soul. Step 3. Track the kill. Get a notebook, an app, a scrap of paper, something. Every day you win, mark it. A check, a slash, a blood red X. Don't just think about it, see it. Watch those marks stack up. They're not just tallies. They're proof your brain is bending. Proof you're not the same person who started. Miss a day? Fine. Don't wallow. Start again. The streak isn't the point. The fight is. Step 4. Stack the arsenal. Once you've slain that first enemy, once that micro-commitment feels like breathing, add another. Not before. Maybe now it's 2 minutes of stretching when you'd rather collapse. Or writing one sentence of that project you've buried. Layer these wins slowly, like a predator building its lair. Rush it, and you'll crumble. Master it, and you'll rise. Step 5. Face the mirror. Every week, sit down, alone. No distractions. Ask yourself, did I show up? Where did I falter? What's next? This isn't fluffy reflection, it's a reckoning. Be brutal. If you failed, admit it. If you won, feel it. Then adjust. Tighten the screws. Make your next micro-commitment sharper. This is where you forge the steel, by staring at your own shadow and refusing to blink. This plan isn't glamorous. It's not a quick fix. It's a slow, deliberate march through the mud of your own resistance. But that's the point. You've spent too long chasing shortcuts that left you empty. This time, you build something real. Day by day, cut by cut, you rewire yourself into someone who doesn't break. The final call. So here's your wake-up call. You're not broken. You're not doomed. You're just asleep, lulled into a coma by the lie that change has to be big to matter. It doesn't. It starts with one choice. One microscopic rebellion against the chaos you've let rule you. Your brain is waiting. It's ready to bend, to rewire, to become something stronger. But it won't move until you do. Today, pick your fight. Make it small. Make it brutal. Say no to one thing. Start one task. Hold the line for 2 minutes. Track it. Stack it. Face it. Feel the resistance. Taste the discomfort. And do it anyway. That's where the power lives. Not in the spotlight, but in the dark corners you've been too scared to face. That's micro-discipline. That's how you claw your way out. That's how you rewrite who you are. The clock's ticking. The pit's deep. Your move. What's it going to be? That's it, warriors. You've just stared into the abyss of micro-discipline. The small, brutal cuts that carve a path out of your own personal hell. To the returning GrimFace Warriors, you legends of the shadows, welcome back. You've been grinding in the dirt with us, stacking those wins, burying the weak versions of yourselves, one tiny rebellion at a time. This is your tribe, your battleground. Stay in the fight, because we're not done yet. The war's still raging, and you're still standing. And to the new blood, watching this, yeah, you, the one who's been lurking, teetering on the edge of giving a damn. Listen up. This isn't just a video. This is a call to arms. The GrimFace movement isn't for the faint, the flaky, or the fake. It's for the ones ready to claw their way up, to face the ugliness, to build something unbreakable from the ashes of their excuses. Hit that subscribe button. Join us. Not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Because you're tired of drowning and ready to rise. Like this if it hit you. Share it if you're in. Comment your first micro-commitment. Let's see who's got the guts to start. This is GrimFace Motivation. We don't quit. We don't break. We grind. See you in the shadows, warriors.